You just woke up late for work. Your truck is broke down and it's raining outside. Guess what? You're about to ride your motorcycle in the rain. It's FASTLANE. Hey kids, today we're going to talk about riding your motorcycle in the rain. As I begin to research this subject, I realized there's a lot of videos on YouTube already about this. And there's a lot of blogs out there talking about it. And honestly, some of those blogs say things like, no matter what you do, you should never ride your motorcycle in the rain. I mean, at all costs, don't ride your motorcycle in the rain. Come on, man. I live in the Willamette Valley in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it rains here like 50% of the time at least. And there's a whole lot of folks that live like up in Seattle, up the road, up in Alaska. They live in Ireland. There's a lot of places that get a lot of inclement weather, a lot of rain, and people ride in the rain all the time. So just to tell people that we shouldn't ride in the rain is just absolutely preposterous. So, to make another video about riding in the rain, why would I possibly do that? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I have a lot of personal experience. I'm a commuter motorcycle rider. 5 days a week, I ride my bike to work, okay? To and from, and it does not matter if it's raining, it's sunshining, it's storming, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I jump on the bike and I ride. So I'm going to give you my opinion on some things that you can do to keep yourself safe, keep yourself dry, help you to be seen, and help you to see better on the trip, getting to where you want to go, all right? With that being said, these are just opinions and my own personal experience. I would really highly encourage you to do what I do, which is when I go to YouTube and I'm researching something, it doesn't matter if it's painting something, mowing the lawn, or whatever, it might possibly be. I watch several videos on the subject and I kind of throw all these opinions and ideas into a pot, mix them all together, and then I figure out what I believe. Okay, so I'm going to give you, to the best of my knowledge, the information that I have, which is, number one, you want to be able to see as you're riding in the rain. So let's talk about headlights. So I don't know what it is about motorcycle companies, but it seems like a lot of bikes roll off the showroom floor and they have less than adequate headlight systems. Now, I don't know if they're just, trying to make the cost of the bike low and thinking you might want to upgrade that later in the future or something, or if it's a little more sinister than that. I know with the Scout Bobber back here, that headlight is absolutely junk. I mean, it is so dim, the original headlight that comes on that thing, it's terrible. And I would not recommend anybody ride with that for any length of time. But guess what? Indian is more than happy to sell you their LED upgrade version for $350, $400 or whatever. And matter of fact, now they've got the adaptable that actually goes toot, 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 and sees when you lean around the corners. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm not going to say they're not cool and they're not a huge upgrade, but I don't know why more bikes don't just come with this stuff standard. Because I'll tell you what, the Honda Rebel, actually, the headlight that comes on that bike is actually really bright and it's pretty good. But with these guys, they just kind of give you this junker and you're going to have to upgrade it. I've got the Eagle Eye, something like that somebody gave me. It's actually a really great headlight, but that's what's on my bike. And it's actually probably a little too bright. Kind of annoys people along the way. But I'm not going to apologize for that because I want to be able to see when I'm going down the road. So why is it important to see? I mean, besides the obvious. We got to see what's in front of us, right? So it's raining, it's dark, it's stormy, and there may be a pothole in the road. There may be some water standing in the road that you could hydroplane on. There might be a branch that's fallen down because of the storm last night. There might be an electric wire or a cable or something that's fallen down. You don't know. Or it could be just simply that somebody was driving down the road in front of you and they hit a bump and they had firewood in the back of their truck and now there's a stump in the middle of the road. You know, you want to be able to see what's in front of you. And in the rain, it's even harder to see you. So you want a really good headlight so you can see what's up ahead of you. You also want to see if there's a car that's sitting there without their headlights on, because believe me, it happens, especially in this day and age of legalized marijuana and people being on their cell phones and being distracted and all the things. Sometimes people are sitting right there in their own driveway or right on their street and they never turn their headlights on. You know, they can pull out right in front of you and not ever know that you're there. So you want a good headlight so you can see what's coming up ahead of you. Speaking of seeing, let's talk about your helmet. So a lot of helmets are sold with visors that are anti-fog. Now, when I took my motorcycle training course, it was actually raining the day I took the course, which was really great because the guy was like, the trainer was like, hey, you'll never have to worry about being out in the rain and riding in the rain, which it was totally true. That one was under my belt. I'd ridden all day in the rain by the time that course was over. But one thing he said was, you guys are going to probably want to crack your shields. So we cracked our shields because he said, you know what? They're going to get foggy. Even with the anti-fog coatings and all these things, when you've got hot breath inside your helmet and it's cold and damp outside, you're going to get condensation and you're going to get some fog inside that helmet. So with that being said, what is my solution? Well, back in about 2019, I watched a video by FASTLANE, and I think it was the best commuter gear of 2019 or something like that. And the dude on FASTLANE was showing this motocross style helmet with a pair of goggles. And he was talking about how great it was to wear goggles and how, in the rain it was great. And, I was like, dude, I've been riding for months with a shield that's fogging up or having to halfway keep it open half the time. And I went out and I got myself a set of goggles, dude, and it made all the difference in the world. I personally ride with goggles all the time when it's early in the morning and when it's raining outside because I don't want things to fog up. I mean, goggles are sealed. They're sealed, so they're not going to fog up. Now, with that being said, goggles aren't going to work for everybody. Now, my commute is like 20, 30, 40 miles an hour for about 15 or 20 minutes. The rain is not going to pelt you the way it's going to pelt you if you're on the freeway, okay? Because rain can really, really hurt, and it can actually feel like bee stings, like where those goggles aren't at, like down here, and hitting your nose and such. It can be very, very painful. So if you're on the highway, you're going to high rates of speed, you may not want to wear goggles. You may have to find a different solution. And it could be literally the anti-fog sprays and such. All right, so now let's talk about not only being able to see, but actually being seen. So when you're in inclement weather, you definitely want to be seen. We already talked about the headlight being a way that you can see what's coming up in front of you. Well, guess what? That is actually a great way for people to see you as well. I don't know if you've realized this, but the headlight on a motorcycle actually looks like a car from a long ways off. Because if you think about the two headlights on a car, the further it gets away, the closer they get together, right? So someone can actually mistake you for a car and see that one light and think you're a car way back there, turn right out in front of you, pull right out in front of you, whatever. So we want to make sure people know that we're not a car. How can we do that? One way we can do it is by wiggling back and forth with our bike on the road like this, back and forth, so they see that one headlight moving around. You can also flash your light, okay? Something I like to do and I do all the time. Give it a quick flash. Now, it might irritate some people. Some people might not know what you're doing. They may flash you back. I really don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care if I irritate somebody. I don't care if I make them mad. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to make sure they know that I am there. And that's what I recommend for you. Give them a quick flash. Boop, boop. And right there, they see one headlight go from here to here, and it gets bright, and they realize, oh, that's a motorcycle. That's not a car way off in the distance. Another thing you can do is wear high vis. So there's a lot of controversy and a lot of ideas about whether or not high vis works. And I would definitely say, in the day and age we live in right now, high vis is kind of an overkill. It's everywhere. And I don't think it's probably as effective as it once was. But I will say this, it's got to be better than black, okay? I wear a lot of black. I love black. I wear black when I'm riding normally. But when it's raining outside or it's dark, I definitely put on some high vis because I want anything that shows that I am there better. And trust me, yellow high-vis in the darkness is far better than black, all right? Plus, they've got a lot of reflective on them. So the headlights of a car is going to bounce off that high-vis, and it's going to show them that you're there. Another thing you can do is actually get reflective tape. There's motorcycle shops and even like Amazon and stuff sell reflective tape that you can cut in, the little silver strips and stuff. Make cool little designs, put it on your helmet, put it on your bike in places, and actually it'll blend right in, and when people see that, they will see that you're coming towards them. So there's a couple quick little tips for being seen. Let's talk about staying dry. So when it comes to staying dry, I have one word for you: Gore-Tex. Now, I have wasted a lot of money over the years and a lot of time and energy on a variety of motorcycle gear trying to stay dry. If you're a commuter and you're riding in the rain a lot, you're going to try a lot of things and try to figure out how to keep your feet dry, try to keep your pants dry, whatever. And I will say this, the only thing that I've really found that works really amazingly is Gore-Tex. And here's the deal. Hikers, all kinds of adventurers, outdoor people, they swear by it, man. And, there's probably some other brands out there. There's some other companies that probably produce similar stuff. I don't know what they are. I just stick with what I know. If you know something, feel free to comment below. So let's talk about the difference of water resistant and waterproof. So gear that is water resistant is simply this. It's gear that you can go out and you can get sprinkled on. It's not to take a hard rain. It's not to stick your foot in a puddle. It is literally to get a little bit of a sprinkle, and then it kind of blows away, and by the time you get home, everybody's happy and the sun's out again and there's rainbows and bunnies running across the yard and such. But waterproof is supposed to mean something else, and that's where it gets sticky, because there's different levels of waterproof, and every company seems to have their own levels of waterproof. And I'm here to tell you, there's stuff that says it's waterproof, and I've owned some of it that is absolutely not waterproof. Like for instance, and I'm not trashing Cycle Gear on any level. I love them. I buy plenty of stuff from there. But I had bought myself a pair of kind of a motocross style boot, adventure style boot, and it said it was waterproof. Man, that sucker started leaking right away at the heel, started leaking around the toe. I would get to work and I'd have wet toes. I'd have a wet heel. My foot was getting wet on these things, and it wasn't because they were short. They were tall boots. It was just seeping through all the seams. This sucker was not waterproof. So this is why I'm saying get a brand of waterproofing that you absolutely know is legit. Now, if you've had an experience with another brand, like I said, let's discuss it. Please let me know. I'd love to let people know, and I'd love to know personally, because I don't want to be stuck to something. But for my experience, the number one thing that actually works is Gore-Tex. So talking about boots, we've got moto shoes, we've got boots, we've got lower kind of a high top style shoe or a boot. Then we've got mid calf to all the way up covering your calf like a motocross style. And what do you really want if you're out in the weather and in the rain? Well, I'm going to say if it's just a sprinkle, all you need is a moto shoe, okay? You don't have to have something that your rain pants are completely covering. If it's just barely sprinkling, that's the kind of weather you have a lot. You barely get any rain, that'll work just fine. But if you are in a torrential, heavy-duty downpour like we get here quite often, and a lot of other people get around the world, dude, you need at least a mid-calf to all the way possibly up your calf, like a motocross-style boot. I wear the highest boot I can possibly get. And the reason I do is because I want it up under my rain pants, so the runoff from the pants isn't going down into the boot, and the road spray is not coming back and seeping up into the boot. Because I will tell you what, if you wear a pair of moto shoes and it's really severely raining, or some kind of a boot that's really a lower topped boot, guess what? That water is going to blow back at you. It's going to go right down in your shoe, and it's going to run down your pant leg, and it's going to go right down in your shoe, and your foot is going to be absolutely soaked by the time you get to work. And your foot's just going to be taking a bath while you're riding, so what's the point? You might as well just wear normal shoes, right? And then it can be quite challenging to get like a moto shoe dry because they're made to keep water out, so the water inside doesn't want to leave, right? Then you got to get yourself a boot dryer, which I highly recommend anyways. Everybody should have a boot dryer. Get yourself a boot dryer. There's even some cool ones right now that'll like dry your helmet, dry your gloves. I use my boot dryer for helmet, gloves, my ninja mask thing. Whatever gets wet, I throw it on the boot dryer. All right, so I definitely recommend if you're in severe weather, get some very high topped boots, stuff that's going all the way up your calf, going under your rain pants, okay? So, you gotta have a jacket, you gotta have rain pants, and you gotta have gloves as well, right? Well, here's the deal. If your rain pants are inadequate, they may halfway work, okay? But I'm here to tell you that rain will get into seams of a lot of these pants, okay? It's gonna get in where it pools, and that's at your crotchal. Is that a word? That's at your crotchal region. Yeah, it's gonna get in right where you're seated, where the water blows up and pools. So, one thing you can do to kind of alleviate some of that is stand up every once in a while on your pegs if you can, if you got mid-pegs or whatever. You can let the water kind of flow out, let a little wind go through there for a minute. But a lot of these pants, unless they're Gore-Tex, unless there's something really, really good, they're gonna get water in the seams and you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna get to work and you're gonna look like you peed your pants. So, get yourself something good, get yourself something tried and true. That's my recommendation. You're also gonna need some waterproof gloves if you wanna keep your fingers and your hands warm, and you're gonna need some kind of a waterproof rain jacket. So last but certainly not least on the list is staying alive. Now, when we're out there riding in the rain, there's a lot of things we need to think about. Things we already talked about. People can't see you. Obstacles in the road, making sure you can see. Another thing is just simply this: slow down, all right? A lot of motorcycle accidents that happen, a lot of people that die on their bikes is caused simply by motorcycle rider error. We have to take some responsibility for what we do, okay? So our rider error can actually cause us and put us into some really hairy situations that we could have avoided if we just, done things differently. So number one, I want to encourage you, slow down on your bike, all right? You don't have to ride like a bat out of hell, and you certainly don't want to do it in the rain. Couple things. It's slippery. Your brakes are not going to work as well. You're not going to be able to stop as soon, okay? People can't see you. People are sliding around. They can't stop as easily. All these things. And then you got to think about things like oil on the road. So you know as well as I do, when the rain comes on and it's been a dry spell, that the roads can be very, very slippery when we get that first rain. So you got to be careful. You got to be cautious, and you want to slow down. Another thing you can do is make sure that you're not riding right in the center of that lane, okay? When you pull up to the stoplight or the stop sign, everywhere people stop there, their oil pan is right in the center right there, and that's where the drips are going to be. That's where a lot of the majority of the oil is going to be. So don't stop right there in the center. Stay off to the side a little bit. Don't ride right in the center in the rain. And while I'm on the subject, don't put tire shine on your motorcycle tires, okay? You don't put oil on a motorcycle tire, because when it rains or it gets wet, that's going to run off and run down onto the front of your tire, and then you're not going to be able to stop. All right, to summarize, slow down, watch for slippery spots, make sure you can see what's going on, and make sure that you are able to be seen. Let's take a look at some of my motorcycle gear. All right, first things first is the motorcycle helmet that I actually ride with. This one is actually a Sidisi. I got this at Cycle Gear. Works perfectly fine. This one's got a little Bluetooth built in. I like this guy because he works great in the rain. He's not very expensive. I think I paid a couple $100 for him, $200 with the Bluetooth. I put the goggles on there. Works awesome. You got this shield that actually you can pull down. I don't remember what it's called. You can look it up. It's still for sale on there. The cool thing about this helmet that I like is you can pull the shield down right over the goggle straps, which I think is really a cool feature. It's kind of an adventure style helmet, so that's a great helmet for riding in the rain. As far as moto shoes go, I like these guys. These are the Fresnos by Roland Sands. Now, these are the complete waterproof ones. They sell a perforated version as well. It's more of a summer shoe. These are completely waterproof. They're great. I would suggest going a half size bigger if you get them. But these are a great option if it's sprinkling. Like I said, don't wear these in a downpour. Look how low they are. They're going to become a bathtub or a hot tub for your foot, okay? But these are a great option if you are just running out in a sprinkle. You don't get a lot of rain, but you want something that's still waterproof. Fresno by Roland Sands. Okay, so let's move up in the world. CD. Yeah, I don't remember what these are called, but you can't not go wrong with these. I think they're like Italian or something. CD makes a fine boot. I'm going to tell you what, these suckers are absolutely 100% waterproof. Yeah. They're Gore-Tex. You can tell by looking down inside them. These things will not disappoint you. They're amazing. I actually got these off Poshmark from a guy. They didn't fit him. Got them for like $125. These are like $300 and some boots. They're amazing. So, Gore-Tex. Now I got tired of having wet feet. That's why I bought these. I started researching. They do squeak a little bit. You can't hear it. But these suckers, I think they're kind of a vegan thing. I don't know what they're made out of, but they got a little bit of a squeak when you walk, but I don't care, man. I'm riding in them. One thing you do have to think about, when you go from a moto shoe to a boot, or any kind of a regular shoe to a boot on your bike, you may have to adjust your shifter. Yeah, it might not fit under your shifter there. Your toe might not fit anymore. There's all kinds of videos to tell you how to do it, so don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's easy to adjust your shifter on most bikes. So CD, highly recommend this boot. You're also going to want to pack your gear with you, right? You're going to need something to pack your gear in. If you wear a backpack like I do, this is the Icon Dreadnought. This is a full roll top, completely waterproof bag. This thing is amazing. I've had it for years now. Saw it on Chase with two wheels. What is it? I don't know. Chase, you know who you are. I saw him do a review on these. He does a lot of Icon stuff. I went right out and bought one. This is a great bag. You want to keep your stuff bone dry, get the Icon Dreadnought. The jacket that I'm currently wearing as a rain jacket is this one. This is a built one from Cycle Gear. Obviously, I don't remember what it's called. I'm doing a terrible job showing it off here. But this sucker actually does a pretty good job. It's kind of almost an adventure style thing. It's not perfect. It's very warm though, and it's kept me quite dry. Once in a while, I feel a little bit of seepage, but as a whole, I probably could recoat this with something, because you can do that with gear and it'd probably be fine. I also wear these, which I bought from Cycle Gear. These are built as well. One thing I like about these rain pants is they have a little stripe there down the side, high vis. You can see I got a little tape there where I've ripped them now. They're not waterproof really anymore completely. You're going to get a little seepage. They were pretty good for a number of years, but still, like I said, at the seams, they're not Gore-Tex. They work fine in mild, they work. And you're going to have yourself some kind of a glove. So these are a waterproof glove. I think these were called the Built Demon or something. I don't really remember. Like $20. I think the pants were only like $25. Yeah, they're really cheap. Are these the highest quality of everything ever? No. Look at the fingers there. They're kind of fraying. I've had these for like 4 years. They're not quite waterproof anymore. They're relatively warm. They work. And then this is what I wear for a high vis vest. Literally got this for about $30. Cycle Gear, same thing. Works fine. Lots of reflective. Actually looks pretty cool. You can take it off when you don't want to have high vis anymore. Dunzo Onezo.